Welcome back to the morning show here on Arise News. Right here in the studio with us are the co-founders of Ilare, a ready-to-wear women's wear line that focuses on the African woman's body and creates pieces that are both flattering and celebratory of her frame. Welcome to the morning show, ladies. So, Ebon.
I'm Evan.
Okay.
I'm up there.
TOSIN.
Okay. Nice to meet you. Thank you for having us.
Thank you for joining us. So let's start off with the fact that you are sisters. How did this collaboration happen? How did you decide to launch a label together?
I think growing up, my mom was really fashionable, and just watching her, I think it was a natural progression. And then when everyone was getting married, we decided to curate a wardrobe for her. And at the wedding, it was a week-long event, and everyone kept asking about the outfits. So it just pretty much happened like that.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Were you running into trouble like when you were trying to curate the clothes? Were there certain things you guys were looking for and you weren't able to get your hands on? Where did you feel that there was a gap that you could fill?
So it was a week-long event, and they had like different activities planned out, and we just thought to ourselves, why don't we just try tailoring some of these pieces? So we knew a lady that was quite good, and we told her our vision, and she was able to execute nicely. So that's what it started from.
Okay, cool. And so what do you ladies do? Like, what type of pieces?
So we tried to, initially we started with casual pieces. So something like what I'm wearing now, easy to wear. And then eventually we started doing like workwear and event formal wear, which is what we do more of now. So a lot of dresses for weddings. We really thought, how can we capture all the markets for the women, but in a stylish way, as opposed to wearing your typical plain pencil dress. We try to think of ways to have one interesting detail in everything we make. Like this piece, for instance, it's your typical jacket, but then it has like an interesting detail in front. What she has on as well, a jacket as well, but then a lace detail on the side, and it has it on the side as well. So that's what we try to, do with all of our pieces. We always try to think of one. This is probably one of our simplest pieces.
So you just like to have like some kind of an interesting, unique detail.
Yes.
So, who does what?
Okay, so with Ilare, it's very collaborative. So, we all have different backgrounds. Evan and I have a finance background, so both of us do a lot of the finance, accounting stuff. So as opposed to outsourcing it or employing people to do it, we do like all the financial modeling and all of that, even coming up with our pricing model. We built that together. And then the creativity, the actual design aspect, we do that jointly. But TOSIN, I think she shines more in that area because she has...
I think it's collaborative.
It is.
If somebody has an idea, even if maybe someone comes up with a design, by the time it goes through three of us, because we have different personalities, we're extremely different, our style is very different. So by the time it sees through three of us, we're able to find a middle ground that we're all happy with.
So I was actually saying that just because she has, jointly, I think we have how many years of fashion experience. She worked in fashion the longest, internationally in Alexander McQueen, Dolce & Gabbana. I did Roberto Cavalli, but very brief. TOSIN did it consistently. Wow. So, picking up all those real life experiences, being there, like she does the merching. Sorry, I keep
and she's like, merchandising.
Why do I have to do the merching all the time?
I feel like they're also, you guys are good, or you guys just choose not to.
So tell us just a little bit about your background and experience that you've been now able to bring to the brand.
We have zero formal training, by the way. We didn't go to school for fashion. I wanted to go to school for fashion, but I guess at the time, my mom thought, go and get a first degree, come back and you can go into fashion. But while I was at university, I went in Oxford. I don't know if you know Bicester Village.
Yes.
So I just felt like I wanted to have a sense of responsibility, like not just being supported by my parents, but I also wanted to, get some working experience. So I started temping initially with an agency, and then I got a full-time job at Alexander McQueen. And I think just being surrounded, I was part-time, 20 hours a week, but just being surrounded by the beautiful clothes, the intricacies of all the pieces, I just found that I was always really excited. Even during the summertime when they would like ask who wanted to do extra shifts, I was always like, me. It wasn't like the pay was amazing, but I just loved, and I found that dressing up a woman, you know, different body types and the joy that comes from it and the confidence also. Initially, I was a bit, just because, you know, many people are in different serious professions that seem so groundbreaking. And I used to think, oh my gosh, like if you're in fashion, people wouldn't really take you seriously. But I've come to realize that it's a really strong tool. You know, it's very, when a woman wearing an outfit and transforming, whether it's someone who just had a baby and is not feeling that great about herself at, you know, in that moment, and putting her in a piece that makes her, you know, feel like herself again, I think it's very powerful. So I think we personally get a lot of joy from dressing women and, you know, getting them to feel great about themselves. And also particularly, one of the things I also noticed is, especially with European cuts, it's quite narrow, and African bodies are different. We have hips, you know, we're fuller figured, and so
not necessarily.
We do, but I think that for the most part, if you look at most women, not everyone is as lucky as you. most women, you know, we have problem areas that we're trying to hide, and we just learned, you know, accentuating the more flattering, you know, parts of us, I think, ends up making you look great. So I think that for most of our pieces, I think the one thing we have down pat is the cut. No matter your size, I think we're able to get a good cut, and you always look smart. We're very understated, but there's always, like my sister said earlier, one detail that, you know. So, yeah.
Something that stands out.
So a lot of designers, even Christian Dior, Coco Chanel, to Zimmerman, who are sisters like yourselves, will say that there was one particular piece that really catapulted their label. What has that been for you so far?
If I would speak on that. So we started in 2015, and by December of that year, we released a piece. It's called the Iman dress, and yeah, that really made its mark. Like even, I mean, we're in 2019 now, 4 years down the line, people still request for that dress. It's like, oh, the red Iman dress. And I'm like,
wow. That was the first color.
That was the first color, still the most popular requested color. So there's that one. And then I think 2018, last year, when we did Arise, actually, we did this dress called the Alina. It actually had the same detailing. And that as well
has been
really, really requested. Like at some point, we even said, you know, let's halt producing this for now.
Oh, wow.
You know, so, yeah.
And so I know that one of the things you're trying to do, and you've said, is like getting the cut of the African woman's body. So how do you do your sizing? Are they different from European sizings? Are they sort of, because I feel like we need like our own standard Nigerian size. That sort of makes sense for us.
So we do, so we have small, medium, large. Those are our typical sizes. And then for the other sizes, you have to do a special order. And then we can measure you and, you know, so a small fits a size 8 or a small 10. A medium fits a 10, 12. And then a large fits a 14. Maybe a big 12 can wear a large, well, usually a 14. So what we do is, and then any other, because those are popular sizes for Nigerian women, those are like pretty, the mediums are actually pretty popular. The 10, 12, that's probably our most popular size. So we produce those ones, like every piece we make, we always make those 3 sizes. And then everything else around that has to be a special order.
People can come into the studio and get measured, and you make special pieces for them.
Yes, but I agree. I feel like we should do a Nigerian like size charts.
But I think we already, even with we grade it up. So we make allowance, even with the 10, 12, the hips and the bust is probably more generous. And then again, if you're smaller, we're happy to take you in. So I think we always try and do slightly bigger, because an alteration is always easier as opposed to running smaller.
So who's the Ilare woman? Who's your muse?
Can I take that?
Yeah.
So basically, Ilare, our last collection was actually called That To Be. It was talking about the evolution of a woman. So basically, we want any woman to be able to relate to the brand. at whatsoever stage you are in your life. If you're a young adult that just graduated from uni, or if you're starting a career, if you're a mom. We have grandmas that wear us. Yeah, recently, a grandma, so any woman that wants to feel confident in what she's wearing, and I like to call it affordable luxury, because we pay attention to detail. So, with the finish, so whoever is kind of meticulous, you're particular about your appearance, but you're also understated and simple, but still want to stand out wherever you go. So I want to go into a room, I want to be simple, but still stand out. So that's really the Ilare woman.
So what's next for the brand? What's going on?
I think we're working on, at the moment, we're in Nigeria, in our flagship store. We're also at Temple Mills, and we are currently also in Abidjan, Collier Concept. I think it's just pretty much, we're also in Kenya, but we've gotten into one of the stores in Kenya. There's also a multi-brand store. So I think it's just pretty much growing across Africa and eventually even outside of Africa, Europe and America also. That's the end game. We'd like to take it global, and we really strive to make sure that it's of international standard, because I know that sometimes people want to cut corners and you think, okay, but I feel like if you put yourself on, you try and work like the world is viewing you, I think it's sort of preparing you for that eventual state. I hope, I believe in it.
I believe it too. If you will, then you will. Absolutely.
Yes. I'm fascinated by your top. I can't stop watching the detailing on it. It's beautiful.
All your outfits are.
Yeah. Thank you. We'd love to have you ladies come to the studio.
You definitely will. I'm thinking,
I've already seen a couple of them.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for having us again.
Thank you so much. Wish you guys all the best.
Thank you so much.